We're literally car camping on one of the Smoky Mountains. What's going on, everyone? Honda Fit for Adventure here, and I spent the last 9 days car camping in the Smoky Mountains. Not only did we do some car camping, we also did some car cooking. That is delish. Went on a couple adventures. And did the whole JDM thing by attending several car shows and doing a couple rips on the tail of the Dragon. This is going to be the first video in a 3-part series, so please sit back, grab some popcorn, and enjoy the views and the adventures of my little car. But it was a freaking bear. We started this adventure off leaving Chicago at 6:30 a.m. and arriving at Wyah Bald at 9:30 p.m. It's an 8 or 10 mile drive to get to the top of Wyah Bald. The first half of the drive is asphalted, while the second half of the road consists of groomed gravel. It's 11 o'clock. There's a nice observation tower on the top of this hill. We're literally car camping on one of the Smoky Mountains. Can't wait to pop this up in the morning and get a good view of the sunrise. I'm looking for my keys. Although I missed the sunset, the journey to the top of the mountain was rewarded in the morning by a beautiful sunrise that reminds us of why they call it the Smoky Mountains. If you can tell, I wasn't alone. I car camped next to Gonzo Prius and his wife in their lifted Toyota Prius. Gonzo Prius is another car camper and solo cannonball driver who shared this amazing spot with us today. This was also one of my friends that I was supposed to tag along with up to Alaska this last July. After some breakfast and straightening out the car, it was time to drive 3 hours north to Gatlinburg, Tennessee for the Slammed Enough car show. Oh, what's going on, everyone? Honda Fit for Adventure here. I just hung out with Jay Roberts for the night, non-stop solo cannonball record holder. We went up to Wyah Bald. I don't know, it's just hereditary. Slept on top of the mountain, but we're on our way to the Gatlinburg car show. Here was our little camping area for the night. Definitely need to clear up my windows before we drive down this. I believe this is the biggest import show in the US where people drive from all over the country to attend. I'm sure everyone is more interested in the camping aspect, so let me show off a few Hondas that were at the show and we'll get back into the car camping. The car show was nice, but the best part was driving around the downtown area with everyone else showing off their cars. This was a bit chaotic at times, but I had nowhere else to go, so I enjoyed my Sunday drive. Since I wasn't at the car show for nearly as long as I anticipated, I decided to visit the Roding Fork Motor Nature Trail. This was about an 11-mile scenic loop with an historical marker about every 3/4 miles. This was also where I saw my first bear on the trip. Yep, that's right, I said first bear. Come on, buddy. The third bear will be waking me up in my car in about 12 hours. So I tried to live stream it, but the quality came out really bad, so I'm just gonna focus on the GoPro. I mean, I should focus on the road so I don't end up down in the ditch. After the Roaring Forks motorway, I rushed to the Smoky Mountain Visitor Center to pick up a parking pass for the next day. It was about 4:45 p.m. and the Visitor Center closes at 5 p.m. If I didn't get the parking pass now, I would have to wait till 9 a.m. the following day. My plan was to be one of the first people at the park in the morning to visit the waterfall at around 6 a.m. So the Visitor Center closed at 5. I got my parking pass at 4:49. It was too late to go hike out to the waterfalls, and it's too late to drive back to the mountain spot that I slept at yesterday. Since I got my parking pass, I don't have to wait till 9 a.m. tomorrow for the visitor center to open. That's the main thing, so I could sneak in there early. But right now I need to find a spot so I can redo my itinerary and clean up the car. At first, I started off at a nearby grocery store. I cleaned the car. Quick clean of the car. I should have showed you how much dirt I had in there. Made some food and took a nap for a few hours before waking up again. A little midnight breakfast. When I woke up, I drove the car closer to my destination before pulling off into a scenic pull-off for the night. About 4 in the morning, maybe I'll finally decide to go to bed. Blanket, sleeping bag, and then just a container of stuff for the car show. I'm gonna sleep this way. I know I said I've been sleeping the other way with my head, but we're at a slant right now. I set my alarm for 7 because I want to get the sunrise. We're parked right on a cliff with the city at the bottom. I turned off my dash cam too. At 4 a.m., I was awakened to the sound of car doors opening and closing. At first, I thought it was other motorists pulling into the parking spot for the night. But when I looked out of my windows, I didn't see any headlights, taillights, or dome lights from any other cars. I heard what sounded like a car door shut again, only this time, it was my trunk. Wondering who was at my trunk at 4 a.m., I quickly adjusted my eyes and stared out of my back window. It was a bear. All right, he's going off into the woods now. He's digging through all of the trash in the parking lot. My initial reaction was to pound on the window. After hitting the window twice and the bear had not moved, I reached up into the front seat and blew the car horn. Holy shit. That finally scared him away. Sounded like some car doors opening and closing. And then I looked to my left and right and I didn't see any cars with the headlights. And then in front of me, I see something moving, which scared me. And I was just like, is that a person? But it was a freaking bear. I fell back asleep for about another hour and was awakened by the sound of heavy breathing outside of my window. It was another bear. I hit the horn again to scare the bear away, and as you can imagine, I was up for the rest of the morning. He's out again. He ran into the woods, but now he's back. I heard him breathing outside. Later on, other cars started pulling into the parking lot to catch the sunrise in the morning. I slowly peeked my head out of the car to warn everybody about the bear. Everyone was from out of town and kind of brushed it off their shoulders, but about 20 minutes later, not 1, not 2, but 3 bears made their way back out of the woods to cross the road. Thankfully, the bear didn't scratch up my car, but he did leave some nose prints on the back window. There's leftover remnants from the bear. My man's really mowing the lawn right now. That's going to wrap up the first part of our trip. In our next video, we'll be going over to Laurel Falls for a dip. Then heading on over to the Tail of the Dragon for a rip. Then off the Foothills Parkway for a scenic drive, then hiking up Clingman's Dome for sunrise, and much, much more. Stay fit.